Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's going to be a weekend reading vlog. I have finished 3 books. I was in the middle of 5 books. Things have been really out of control. I've been trying to bring it down, but at the same time, new weekend, it means I want to start new books, so we're doing just that. So, 2 books I'm starting today. The first one, I have been meaning to read this for the longest time, Atomic Habits. It's been on so many lists of like must-read, nonfiction, life-changing kind of book, and I want to know. I feel like I always get sucked into these very hype books, and I just want to decide where I fall. People either love it or hate it, I'm assuming. So I want to know where I stand. So this is the first one I'm going to be reading. I do also have access to the audiobook from my library, and it's about 6 hours. So I don't think this is going to be a long book to read. The physical copy has about 300 pages-ish. So depending on how things go, I'm assuming I might have time to finish this today and I'll pick up something else because I do have an impressive TBR going on. So this is the first book that I want to read. The second one is an audiobook that I just got my hands on from a library. I'm really excited to read it. One of my challenges this year is to read more nonfiction, and clearly I'm doing that this weekend. But I've been trying to find topics that are easy and like fun because I want to be able to recommend some, because I feel like on Booktube people are very divided. They either love nonfiction or they just never read any, and I'm trying to like convince you to try some new fun ones. So I've been reading a ton, and this one sounds interesting, and it's called Cultish, The Language of Fanatism. So I want to know, I'm not very well versed in cults, but I've seen some good reviews, and let's be real, that cover is gorgeous. My eyes is just attracted to it, the fun colors. So I will be reading that, listening to that this weekend. I do have quite a few things to do, some spring cleaning going on. So I think I'm gonna have time to listen to a good chunk of that. And I was saying how I just finished 3 books. I'm still in the middle of 2, so I'm gonna quickly mention them. I don't know how much progress I will make into these 2 because I have these 2 that are now priority. The first one, I'm still reading this one, which is also nonfiction. I need to stop. This is too many. The Demon Hunted World by Carl Sagan. Now I'm realizing it's kind of close topic-wise to the cultish one, but this one is about pseudoscience, viewed from like a scientific point of view, and so far it's been interesting. I've been progress. I've been trying to read like a chapter-ish a day, so maybe before the end of the month I will be done with it. And I'm still in the middle of the Arcanum Unbounded by Bernie Sanderson, which honestly I'm enjoying it less than I thought I would, but it's a collection of like short-ish stories, so we'll see. But where's my, oh, there it is. So you can see where I'm at. I have read more than half, so not priority for this weekend, but I just thought I would update you. So I'm gonna start reading this one. I might actually go on a walk because it's supposed to rain this afternoon, and it's sunny right now. It doesn't look very sunny, but it was sunny like 5 minutes ago, and I want to obviously use that as much as possible, and I will update you. I'm a little skeptical, but we'll see. I want to love it. Okay, so I wanted to update you quickly. I read the intro in the first chapter, so I'm at page 29. So far so good. The author included in the intro basically what happened to him, which including like a personal anecdote, the French is trying to come out, was a good call. It makes it more like personable. So you might be able to tell it's not sunny anymore, but I want to go on that walk before it starts raining, so I will update you. I'm gonna go listen to the audiobook and hopefully things go well, but so far the writing is very simple and I'm enjoying the tone.
My old lovers fall into my covers where they sink one by one. Yeah, I watch them disappear to nothing, disposable as chewing gum. There are deal breakers where I come from.
Well, shit. I think I need to eat my hat. Is that the expression in English? I need to admit I was wrong in my bias because I was prepared to dislike this book. I just went on a very, very long walk, and now it's sunny. I've been rained on, hence keeping the hat on until I can deal with the hair later. But I listened to a lot of the audiobook. I think I'm almost at 50% into it right now, and I'm enjoying it. I think I'm pleasantly surprised. Look, to be fair, I thought this might be a little too like bro-y for a book for me, because you see it on so many lists of those cliche nonfiction, which, let's just say it, next to books written by author that are incredibly misogynistic. So I expected that kind of like hustle culture kind of nonfiction. You know, it just screams that. But I'm enjoying it. The audiobook is narrated by the author and he's very clear. It doesn't come off like that whatsoever. I've also been enjoying the fact that at the end of each chapter, let me grab the physical copy. At the end of each chapter, the author summarizes the chapter, which I think is going to be very practical because I have a feeling that this is the kind of content that you absorb better by repeatedly reading it and absorbing it. I feel like the only other book that I've seen with that kind of summary at the end was another nonfiction that is really popular. The one about influencing people and making friends. So maybe it took inspiration from that, but I do think more nonfiction probably could use it. I feel like it's good to have a physical copy, but I do enjoy the audiobook, but I'm going to go back to reading now the physical copy since I have it. And compared to other books that I've read on the topic of habits, I feel like the author is really good at breaking down those big ideas into like small bite information, which I can completely understand now the appeal of this book over other work that has similar content, but I feel like this one comes off better. All of our opinions are subjective and it's fine. But yes, I am here to admit that I expected to have issues with it. And so far I'm not feeling and seeing any of those issues. I'm enjoying it. And it's too early to really tell you if it's going to be life-changing for me, like the list that it's usually on. But I can see how implementing the tips and tricks that he has shared so far could improve my life in the long term. There you go. So yeah, I mean, it's okay to admit that you were wrong. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hopefully the ending, the second half of the book doesn't prove me wrong again, but so far so good. Okay, I'm doing my 1 chapter a day of my nonfiction to go through it before I go back to my content of the weekend, and I just need to talk about one of the portion. Because the chapter I'm reading is basically a bunch of example of letters he's been receiving. And someone is basically implying that, how did they say that? That like, essentially he might be jealous because aliens are not interested in kidnapping him. And that's why he's like bitter about it. They're all pretty funny if you want to read a couple, but it's the second one. Perhaps they're not interested in you. I'm sure that's exactly it. Scientists are just sad that they weren't chosen. This book is good so far. I do feel like I have to stick to 1 chapter a day, otherwise it would probably be a bit much, but it's been enlightening. I'm so tired. I read this as, let me show you. The one that starts with hypnosis. I read it as Little Gay Men. So I read it as hypnosis prepares the mind for the invasion of demons, devils, and little gay men. Listen, all of these are just so crazy and ridiculous. And my favorites are all the ones that finish with like, I'm quite normal. It's like, yes, yes, I'm sure. Okay, I think this is going to be my last update of the day. I have been reading Atomic Habits, but I want to say that I prefer it as an audiobook because it makes me want to do things, like actively organize and everything. So I feel like every time I sit down to read it, it doesn't work because I want to get up and do things. So recommendation. I have not much left, but I'm going to finish it tomorrow because I can't do this at night because like I want to try to like calm down and go to bed soon. And I can't do that while reading that book because again, it makes me want to do things. So it's a good thing for the book, not so much for my sleep schedule. So I put it down and I did listen to Cultish as I was cooking, and I'm going to go and continue that as I go take off my makeup and shower and try to relax a little bit. And so far so good. I'll have to update you tomorrow because it's too early, but tomorrow I have a lot of spring cleaning to do, so I think I'm going to have time to make some good progress with that one too. And as you saw in the little clip, I did read my chapter of the other nonfiction, which was very short and kind of funny. But now I need something to be able to actually relax, well, after my shower. And I'm going to continue the Xenogenesis series by Octavia E. Butler. I have the last one to read, which is Amigo. So yeah, sci-fi, last book in the trilogy. I have no idea how weird it's going to get, and I'm ready for it. So I think, even though it's probably going to be somewhat dark, this is going to be better to go to bed than books that make me want to like get up and do things. So yeah, I'll update you tomorrow when I have made some more progress. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so things have not gone as planned, but not in a bad way. On the bright side, I finished the book I wanted to finish for this vlog, Atomic Habits, and I finished it as an audiobook, which I recommend getting the audiobook. I'm very happy I have the physical copy. I'll be able to look back on it, but the fact that every time I start it, I want to start organize makes it easier as an audiobook. So if you are hesitating, you like audiobooks, just do it as an audiobook. I enjoyed it a lot more than expected. I feel like the author broke it down very easily, the things that, you know, you can do to make your life easier, and then the ones that you can do to make it harder to continue your bad habits. So a lot of tips and tricks, a lot of very accessible information. I completely understand why it is so well loved, and I would listen to it again, because once again, I do feel like it's something that you benefit if you go through it a few times. So I have nothing bad to say. Like, I genuinely didn't, like, I was prepared to not hate it, but like not be super impressed, but I take it all back. I think that if you were hesitating, it's absolutely worth a shot. Again, the audiobook's 6 hours, and pretty much no one listened to audiobooks at 1 speed. So at 1.5, it's even shorter. 4 hours spent on this, I would do that happily again. So yes, I'm super impressed. Audiobook number 2, I guess, Cultish. So far, I think I'm 28% into it, which seems to be mostly following like Scientology and that kind of cults, and like talking about the language, obviously. Again, so far, I'm happy with that one. I have so much cleaning to do today, so I think that I will attempt to finish this one today. The audiobook, I think, is like 8 or 9 hours. So like, again, at 1.5 speed, I think I might have time to finish this today, because I do have a lot of spring cleaning to do. So that will be my attempt. And then I did not go far into this one last night because I fell asleep, which good for me, not so much for this vlog, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to read my chapter for this one, but again, it's okay. I want to really focus on finishing Cultish, and I'm super happy on how quickly I went through this one. So maybe that's why I'm such in a mood to do my spring cleaning. I also need to put books away, because I have a pile of the books that I have gotten in the last 2 months that I've done haul videos, but they've just been sitting on my reading chair, which is shameful. So I think it's the first thing I'm gonna do while I listen to my audiobook, and I will update you before bed, so to finish the weekend reading vlog. So after attempting to put the books back on the shelves, I realized why I hadn't, because there are in need of an unhaul video, which I do one every year in June, so I think I will tolerate them like this for another month and a half. But some of the shelves, like my nonfictions, which I've been reading a ton of lately, and my mystery thrillers, need to be made smaller or reorganize them somehow, or I just need one more bookshelf somewhere. So I'm gonna have to rethink this, but they are at least not on the chair now, which is good for me. Okay, so a quick update before I go to bed, because it is late. I have been listening to the audiobook Cultish literally all day, and I just finished it in the shower. So let me give you my thoughts. I actually liked it a lot. It's not quite what I expected, but not in a bad way. I would say the main 3 topics-ish were Scientology, which that was the first part that I had mentioned, and then we went into MLMs, which so evil, and it ended with any kind of like group setting of like fitness, so like CrossFit and like Peloton, like all of that stuff, which CrossFit I thought about, but I didn't know that much about Peloton, and probably it's very intense. I didn't realize. And honestly, especially with the contrast with the other book, I thought it was going to be, like I was saying yesterday, like a very like bro-y, like capitalistic kind of content, and it wasn't. I was pleasantly surprised with it. And I feel like this one addressed capitalism a bit, and how all of these cults exist because of it. I had been reading other books like Bell Hooks All About Love earlier this month, and I was mentioning how one of the reasons capitalism works so well is because of individualism, which is pushed on us a lot in the Western society. And I feel like it's the reason these cults work so well is because people feel so lonely. They're craving community. And if you're not religious, you don't have, churches to go to. So it's replaced with all of these other things. And especially sports, I can see how that would work because there are studies that show that whenever you work out with the people, you get more not attached, but I don't know if it's due to adrenaline or whatever, but it just benefits you even more. So I can totally see how that environment would become super intoxicating and addicting. Hence people falling for the cultish groups there. So I thought it was really interesting. I didn't know exactly what to expect when I started. It was just oh, it's a cool cover and fun topic that I know nothing about. And it was just a really nice contrast with the other books. So I would recommend that one too. The audiobook was totally fine if you want to listen to it. I kind of want to own a copy because of the cover, not gonna lie. But I think the topic is really interesting. And if that's something that interests you, go for it. It was worth it. So quick little weekend reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I will be seeing you later this week. Bye.